This is Brad Matheny. Today's the 31st of March. This is the end of day overview. I wanted to come to you on this very big bar with very heavy volume. Look at the size of this volume down here. Very big buying volume. This is a very classic rejection point. You can see it right here off of these lows. Let's go to the rejection. I like to use the open and close levels as rejection, but you can see very solid rejection off of this move. Now, this is my clean chart, my cleaner chart. I was using this last weekend to show you guys monthly excess phase peak patterns. But what's interesting here is this, okay? Very clear rejection on the SPY, right? So let's go to the Dow Jones Industrial. Very clear rejection off of these lows. You can see we never got close to these lows over here. So we're really kind of, in that upper range, still trying to establish a breakdown mode on the Dow Jones. But when we come over here to the QQQ, totally different picture. Okay, we have got that big heavy volume. We've got the broader weakness. Let me get rid of this. Come over here and show you. We actually have that very solid breakdown already taking place into the close of trading. Now, I would call this rejection. Okay, the thing I want you to be aware of is that I want you to be aware of that it's very important to see what happens over the next couple of days. If we roll up into this area and then roll back down and then roll down further, which I believe is very likely, I think we're going to be moving into a deeper low contraction. As I mentioned to you, moving from kind of like that A, B, C pattern in possibly a multi-wave kind of a structure. Kind of like this. So be aware that, we're looking at what could be a very solid fake out kind of a move here before a much deeper correction. And the reason why I'm kind of talking to you guys about this is because, we've got, let's go see if we've got any real support over here at this level. We've got this one gap. You can see it highlighted on the chart. That one gap window. And then below that, we've got lows down here on the QQQ. Fairly, whoops. That is a drawing tool. And I would say down here. So we've got some work to do here to the downside. I mean, we could see a pretty solid breakdown. If we get rejection this week, we could see a pretty solid breakdown, about 5%, 5.5%, maybe about 24 points. I think that's what it said here. Let me check real quick once my buddy quits posting. Yeah, about 20 points, a little over. Call it 20 to 24 points, 4.5 to 5, 5.5%. And like I said, we could get this rejection fairly clearly. And again, SPY, kind of do the same thing here. Go back and look at historical points. We don't really have too many right here. Yeah, we don't have too much in terms of support and resistance. We could come down to this upper window here. Okay, KD, thank you. We could come down to this upper window right here, carry it across that level, and then potentially come down to like this low here. Trying to find some support, which carries kind of right across there. And then really, you know, we've got that window here, that gap over here. And then we've got this low back over here. So notice what I'm trying to look for is gaps. See how this upper gap matched kind of with this lower gap window? And then here we have this gap up here coming back down to stall. Big gaps here, stalling, reverting. And then, of course, lastly, we have this roll down here, 498. And I see this as being a big weakness. I see this as rolling. I see this as rolling into weakness. You know, I've been studying this pattern that I'm not quite ready to show, but it basically does this and then would technically break down. You know, this is, I don't know what to call it yet. I'm calling it the cradle pattern because I don't have a better term for it. But the cradle pattern itself is this kind of a rolling trend. So, you know, roll into this, and then once it gets into that mode where you got to up into this kind of a secondary peak, then we either break down or we break up. So in this example, you know, you can see we have an upper one here, up, pull back, and then once we get into that mode, we either break above the level or break below the level. In this case, we broke above it. So where we're at with this, we've got one little up move here, which may be today. And again, you know, we could theoretically consider this a breakdown like this, breaking down, up, and then at that point, we either break above this level or below this level, and we're trying to break below this level. Now, we could move into that up, down, up here and try to get above it. The levels would still be the same, but if this rejects back down to the downside, it's going to be a tremendous move, and the next phase for us is going to be down to 540 and then down to 521 or 520. So your next targets here really come into, and there's my buddy again. Love KD. He posts a lot, but you know, that's what happens over on my little Discord channel. So anyway, these are the downward targets, these blue levels here. And, you know, we could get a very big breakdown into this area, maybe an A, B, C type of move down to 498. Gold and silver were, let me find it, really all over the place this morning. Let me make sure that is a line. What is that? Looks like a linear regression channel. But you can see we were all over the place this morning on fairly heavy news, still following that channel up. Silver's down a little bit, but gold's still moving higher. You can see it's up 42. I still think we're going to be moving into that extreme parabolic phase. You can see how we've moved aggressively to the upside, looking for a big, really a big parabolic move here. Kind of like this, straight on up to 32. Oh, hello. Straight on up to 3,200 or more. And I'm really looking for silver to kind of get its act together and make a big move. It hasn't yet, but I'm pretty confident that silver is going to be making a move up here to this 36 area, 36, 38, 40. Just it's going to take some time. Gold is really leading right now, but silver's going to make a move. It really is. So just be patient here and give it some time. When silver does make a move, you know, it's going to propel gold much higher. So when silver catches up, gets up in this 35, 36 area, gold's going to rally up above 32, 32.20, 32.30 quickly, very quickly. Okay, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about, was this big rejection point. I really do believe that we're looking at a breakdown. So be aware. Let's see what happens here. I don't think anything is going to settle. I think this is just um, basically market makers trying to uh, drive out the shorts. And I would not be surprised, personally, would not be surprised, come in here on an hourly chart. I would not be surprised to watch this roll aggressively overnight into extended downward trending. Okay. I mean, in reality, we're only up a little bit. I would not be surprised to see this roll into an aggressive downward trend over the next day or two, and really try to target that 540, 540 area, 539 area. Draw it for you. But I really think we're in this mode, coming right off of this roll down into this mode. And I think it's going to then stall a little bit here and then roll down deeper. Okay, guys. Now remember, we've got a lot of time here in April. We'll go over the other cycle patterns tomorrow morning. Hope you guys are enjoying the videos. And like I said, tomorrow, let's take a look at the pattern. Tomorrow is a temporary bottom in trending mode, which would indicate that we would be potentially looking for a bottom or retesting a bottom. Given the fact that we have these lows, we could easily move right back down into these recent lows down here, right back into the 546 area, off a temporary type of a bottom pattern tomorrow. So we'll see how it plays out. Okay, guys, I hope you're able to get some. Talk to you later.